Hey everybody, it's Kiarra here, and today I'm going to be talking about why I decided to become an entrepreneur / content creator. If you're new to my channel, like I said, my name is Kiarra, and I provide faith, lifestyle, and entrepreneurship content. So, to get to know a little bit about me, I've always felt that there was a dichotomy between who I wanted to be and who people perceived that I was. And oftentimes growing up, I thought that I had to follow the bubble that people put me in. To give you a little context, when I was in high school, I was voted most likely to succeed and most involved. I had the tiniest font in the senior yearbook of all the things that I was involved with. I was junior class president and senior class president. And a lot of people said that I would be president of the United States someday. So, oftentimes growing up and being the type A person that I am, I always thought that I had to follow the map that people said that I would follow. But what many people didn't know was my dreams wasn't necessarily being the president of the United States. I was on track to become a lawyer, but that was mostly because that's what I assumed people would expect from me. A lot of times, like I said, growing up, I did what people expected me to do because that was the personality that they thought that I had. So I continued to run with it, and it was something I did well. But like I said, there was always like this dichotomy. So when people were thinking I was shaking up because I wanted to be in politics, I was really dreaming about being on TV. One of my biggest goals was to always be on TV, be in movies, do music, dance. When it came to the arts, that was what I loved. I remember when I was about 5 or 6, a show Out of the Box was on TV. And I remember asking my grandfather, how do I get on that TV show? And I was like literally 5, and all I wanted to do was be on TV and be on that show. Also, I asked him how I could be on Barney as well. So, ever since I was a little girl, I always wanted to be in arts and entertainment. To the point where I actually was going to become a sports and entertainment attorney. So being kind of on the back end of the things instead of actually being in front of the camera. But anyways, back to when I was little. I knew that I wanted to be on TV. I didn't necessarily know that it was acting per se, but I knew that's what I wanted to do. And then fast forward to about 9-10 years old, when the movie Honey came out. I learned every single dance sequence in that entire movie. I could probably still do a lot of them to this day if the movie was on, because I would rewind, practice like my life depended on it. And then I would perform the dances for like my grandma and my granddad and everything like that. And I remember when I first did it, showed my granddad, and I played the movie and I started dancing, and he was like, oh my gosh, you learned this whole sequence. And I was like, I know, it wasn't hard. Also at the time, that's when I started playing the clarinet and band. And in 4th grade, I had my first musical that I tried out for. I literally never acted a day in my life. I only sang at church. But I tried out for this musical and I got the lead part. And doing that musical, there's only a few things in my life that I could say brought me the joy that it brought me. And I was only about like 10 years old. So I did that musical, got a lead part. In the spring, I did another musical, got the lead part. And then the next year, I got 2 lead parts in the 2 musicals I did the following year. And that was just amazing. I loved it. I had so much joy being on the stage. I remember like the little kids who were in like kindergarten, 1st grade or whatever would come up to me and like call me by the name of the character that I was playing, because they didn't necessarily just recognize I was just an older student. So that was really fun. However, when I got got to middle school, I started to realize that my family, no one ever did the arts, really. Like, they always told me I came from somewhere else, because no one else sung, no one else danced, no one else really had interest in that. And so when I got to middle school, I decided I wanted to be just like my mom. I wanted to do everything my mom did and follow in her footsteps. Because of that, I started playing sports heavily. So I was playing field hockey, basketball, I was running track. But in the back of my mind, I was like, man, I really want to be in drama club. And because sports took up so much of my time, I didn't have time for it. So all through middle school, it was just sports. And it was fun. It really was fun. But looking back, I realized I was more so doing it because I wanted to be just like my mom. And to me, that was where I measured my success. So once I got to high school, I tried doing track. It wasn't really working out. I got injured. I wasn't really having fun with it. But I also decided to quit band. And I quit band because I wanted to go full force with sports. And the way sports and band at my high school is, like, it's really, really hard to be involved in all these things because they're so time consuming. So I quit band and tried to focus on sports. It didn't work. I tried out for the dance team as well in 9th grade. I actually didn't make it, and I was heartbroken because I was like, all I wanted to do was dance. So I practiced so hard at my house, in my room by myself, and I actually came back and made the team my 10th grade year, and I danced all throughout school. And so kind of hanging up the sports, me actually playing sports, was so relieving to me because I went full force in dance team. I ended up being a captain, a choreographer, all of that. I went hard with singing. I was in bel canto choir, and then I was also in Meister Singers, which was such an amazing experience. I got a lead role in our musical for Meister Singers my 12th grade year, and that was like the last quarter of my high school career. I was able to actually do what I wanted to do. And if I wasn't with dance team, I was at musical practice, helping lead musical practice. And it was just a dream. Everything was perfect. And I was like, darn, I wish I would have just did this my whole high school career, just devoted it to singing and acting and dancing and everything like that. However, at that time, I was gearing up my education to become a sports and entertainment attorney. So when I went off to college at NC State, I studied sport management, and my time was literally devoted to the football team. Pretty much everything I did revolved around my time with the football team. I also danced. I was in a dance company, and that was my relief. So from dancing, I always still had a love for acting. However, because the way my time was with dancing and with football, I had no time. I literally remember getting on the bus multiple times to try to figure out how to get a theater minor, but then getting off the bus and going back home because I was like, people wouldn't expect this from me. People wouldn't understand why I'm a sports management major but minoring in theater. Like, that doesn't make sense for the path that I'm on. That doesn't make sense for how people know me and everything like that. I kept just talking myself out of it. And so I ended up getting, I guess you can say, my acting release through our dance performances, especially our concert in the spring, because I was able to play all these different characters while I was dancing. But once I graduated, I fully surrendered myself to God. I remember bawling my eyes out in my apartment, and I was just like, Lord, I'm tired of running. I want to do what you have called me to do. So in that, the Lord, basically, he blatantly told me that I chose to work in sports, but that's not what he chose for me. And I was like, wow. Because at the time, I already secured an internship, and I was just going to go full steam ahead, do the internship, then try to work with some NFL team, and, figure out my my way, because at that point I decided I didn't want to be a lawyer anymore. I wanted to actually like work for the league or something. So I was like, well, I guess, you know, I still have to do the internship and everything like that. What I didn't realize was, not only was the Lord calling me to fully walk in my gifts when it came to teaching his word and preaching and things like that, he was also telling me that I was wasting my creativity. And so I was like, wow, I'm wasting my creativity. And he started to bring me back to all those times when I was a little girl, and how I would just take books and I would just write songs randomly. I would try to teach myself how to play a keyboard. I was literally writing books as a little girl. I was always in this dream world. And it's so funny because my mom and my grandma would always say, Kiarra, your head is always in the clouds. Like, you're always dreaming, like as a way to say like I was never really present. And that was basically true, because I was always fantasizing stories and characters, and if I was somewhere else, or if I had a different life, or if I was playing someone else, that's what I always would think about. And so that's why I got so immersed in every time I would go to the movies or start a TV show or read books or something like that. I always got so immersed in the characters. So I started to ask the Lord, I was like, Lord, how can I put this all together? And so that's when he told me that I needed to step out on faith and start writing, and actually developing my writing and, you know, publishing books. And he gave me dreams of producing television, producing movies, and, you know, things like that, really being an artist. And the great thing about YouTube is that you're in control of your art. You can just post whatever you want to post and put together what you want to put together, and it's yours and it's your art. And so being here on YouTube is a way for me to be creative in a different way. I'll still be writing. I'll have my blog coming out. I still write books and everything like that. So I'm able to flex my creative muscles in a whole bunch of different ways. But what that taught me about entrepreneurship is I'm allowed to create my own lane. And that's what I really wanted to hone in on with giving my whole backstory, is you're able to create your own lane. You are able to take something, if like for me, I never really felt like I fit anywhere, and coming out into the quote unquote real world after college, no job really interests me, nothing really suited me. But then when I looked more into content creation, I was like, this is what suits me. I'm in charge of just using my mind in a creative way to create things that will have an impact on other people. And so with my entrepreneurial journey, that's what I'm doing. I'm mixing my love of arts and media and entertainment, YouTube, with writing, with blogging, with doing all those things and allowing God to use me in the ways that he wants to use me. So I just wanted to share like my backstory as to why I became an entrepreneur, why I became a content creator. It's because I'm an artist at heart. Yes, I'm class president. Yes, I love politics. Yes, I love all these things. Yes, I'm type A. Yes, I'm 1 on the Enneagram, but yes, I'm a creative. And I want to walk in my creativity as best to my ability, because I am called to create. Why? Because of my creator. My Father, he is a creator. He created the heavens and the earth. He is an artist at his core, and we all have that DNA inside of us, and we just express it in different ways. So like I said, I just wanted to share my background and my story with you. I hope it resonated with you in some way. I hope that you learned a little more about me and my history. If you like this video, please be sure to give a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you